are you guys freaking out?
Alexander, a Persian ship sails to your port side.
What? Oh. That's not good. Welcome back, everyone. For this month, we'll be checking out Rise and Fall: Civilizations at War. This real-time strategy game was released in 2006 for the PC, published by Midway Games and developed by Stainless Steel Studios, makers of Empire Earth. During development, the studio ran out of money, and Midway stopped funding the game, so Stainless Steel shut down. Midway Games decided to pick up where the studio left off and finish the game. On the surface, it feels like a smaller budgeted Warcraft 3 game, with better naval combat and being able to take control of a hero unit. You get to pick from 4 factions from history: Egypt, Rome, Persia, and Greece. Command heroes such as Cleopatra, Julius Caesar, and Alexander the Great. Play through 2 story campaigns or play on the many skirmish maps for 1v1s, 2v2s, 3v3s, or even 4v4s. Although it was only fun to play 1v1s because I would easily get overwhelmed by bots and get eliminated. Overall, it's still a fun game to play, but it's not like some hidden gem that everyone is missing out on. There are some great ideas here that could make this game remake material. As usual, we're going to go through the story, so spoiler warning, but don't ask me if this is historically accurate, what I liked and disliked, and any funny or awkward moments that happened to me during my playthrough. Let's go break some wine jugs for energy? Like most old games, it's not available on any digital store. You might get lucky and find a disc copy online, but as you probably already know, this game is available on myabandonware.com. Scroll down to the comments and follow the instructions by XJDHDR. Gameplay is pretty straightforward. There is a tutorial where you play as Julius Caesar surviving a few missions in Egypt. You start with a couple of workers and have them mine for gold and collect lumber for wood. Build structures to produce troops, increase your unit cap, defensive structures like walls and archer towers. You'll then try and take these outposts, but watch out, they have defenders. Early on, these are tough to take, but it gets easier as you upgrade your troops. The more outposts you have, the more units get produced. At the bottom of your screen, this number will tell you how many units will get produced each time they finish training. For each outpost you control, this number will increase, thus getting additional units. As you explore the map, kill enemies, or build statues, this will generate a resource called honor. This currency can be used to upgrade your hero from level 1 to a max of 10. Use it to upgrade your swordsmen, spearmen, archers, and cavalry, or spend it on advisors. These can be pretty powerful, especially in skirmish. In the campaigns, each mission has a cap of how much honor you can collect. As a side note, sometimes the game bugs out each mission and suddenly you have enough honor to upgrade your hero for free. Once you have an army, they automatically get into a formation. You can break them up to form a smaller squad. For the most part, units follow a similar rock, paper, scissors formula. Swordsmen are kind of on their own unit, good at tanking and dealing damage to anyone. Archers counter them, and spearmen. Cavalry counter archers, and spearmen counter cavalry. Every faction has their own general feel, and special units to complement their playstyle. Like Egypt has elephants who are big tanky monsters that can deal a lot of damage to melee units. I would say they are overall a jack of all traits but a master of none. Their units are decently priced and can hold their own in a fight but aren't the strongest. Rome has gladiators that are decent units and they infinitely spawn from their building for free. I would describe them as being weak in the beginning, but in the late game they have the strongest units and will steamroll over anyone if they build a massive army. It makes sense why their units are the most expensive. Persia has elephant archers and are the opposite of Rome. I would say they have the weakest units, but they are the cheapest, so you can keep pumping out soldiers. Finally, there's Greece. They have a unit that trains their units to level them up. Their units are almost as strong as Rome, but being able to train a squad to level 20 without leaving your base sounds like an overpowered strategy in multiplayer. As for ship combat, all factions have 3 tiers of ships: galleys, biremes, and triremes. They serve as a mobile barracks. Seriously, you can somehow produce soldiers and they just appear from below deck. Even though you can create only so many troops on deck, but after landing on a beach, as long as everyone leaves the ship, then boards at the same time like this, you can fit a huge army on any ship. The trireme can have a catapult built on it. The unique thing about ships is building a drummer will allow the ship to ram another ship perpendicular to it. You can also grapple on other ships and board it. Once all enemy soldiers are killed, the ship is yours, and you can use it now for combat or landing on enemy shores and produce units like a barracks. When I tried my first 1v1 as Persia against Greece on the highest difficulty, I played for almost 3 hours just trying to defeat them. It was a back and forth fight. We kept pushing each other back to each other's bases, trying to take out structures, but more and more troops kept getting made, until I built some ships to attack from the sea and destroy their infrastructure. Finally, I was able to push them back and destroy their base before he could get more soldiers up. It was the most intense back and forth games I have played in a long time, and I had a blast. Last thing to talk about is taking control of your hero. If you're in RTS mode and they get attacked, the red bar begins to go down. If they die, they will respawn at your settlement building. The blue bar is stamina, which in a campaign mode only ever goes up if you destroy these wine jugs. In skirmish, this blue bar will regenerate over time. This blue bar is for you for when you take control of them. Every attack you make drains this bar. Taking damage also drains it as well. Every hero has something special about them, like Cleopatra can zoom in twice with her bow, shoot multiple arrows like a shotgun, or Alexander can set enemies on fire in an area, but this will drain a lot of stamina. You can give commands to nearby troops like halt, follow, and charge. Overall, there's not much to the combat. If you use the melee weapon, it just feels like a simple hack and slash game. But if you use the bow, it turns into a third-person shooter. I wish there was more to it, like in Mountain Blade 2 or like Dynasty Warriors even. You know, with combo attacks. For the 2 campaign modes, you play as Alexander or Cleopatra. Again, I don't know if they are historically accurate, but judging by their pronunciation of Aristotle, I'm gonna say it's not.
Come with me, Aristander.
The missions themselves are pretty easy to beat, except for that arena one as Alexander. F that mission. Most of the cutscenes are people doing the same animations and moving their head and lips around that don't always match the emotions going on in the cutscenes. Missions can range from simply go destroy the enemy base, defend against enemy attack waves, and taking control of your hero the entire time. There is one Cleopatra mission that always makes you lose. It must be bugged. The only way to win is you have to type in a cheat code in order to skip the mission, but we'll get to that. Lastly, I just want to mention the theme song for this game is awesome. Alright, time to get on with the Alexander campaign. We start off with a cutscene. Persia attacks a Greek town. Then we cut to a messenger arriving to tell Alexander his father is dead, while dusting off his clothes. Then pointing out the big army outside the city about to destroy it. Alexander isn't worried, and so he walks out and tells everyone to get ready to stand and fight. You don't have to do much. Just get ready for the enemy to attack and hold them back until reinforcements arrive. Then take control of Alexander and start turning the tide of battle. Push them back and destroy their catapults outside the city to end the mission. Overall, a simple and straightforward defense mission. Next mission we hop right into without a cutscene. We need to secure an alliance with Parmenion or Demetrius. Although this sounds like a choice, it honestly isn't. Once you take the first town, just head to the right and talk to Parmenion. I'm really sorry if I butcher any of these Greek names. He will join you because no matter what, Demetrius will always attack you, even if you go to him first. Well, he escapes, but you follow after him and trigger another cutscene. The soldiers then suddenly decide to question Alexander's leadership, so he has to fight Demetrius and his forces alone. This is a great way to show how powerful your hero unit is. Right-click to knock Demetrius down with a wind-up attack. Once he's defeated, the last cutscene in this mission triggers. Overall, a decent mission. A messenger tells Alexander his brother Tiberius was seen with the king of the Persians, Memnon, and Tiberius was seen wearing their father's crown. Alex doesn't believe it, so he plans to raise a fleet to set sail and kill Memnon and return his brother. Aristotle says we don't have the resources to do so, but Alex says the city of Pipna does.
To what lengths will you go in meeting your stated goal?
Come with me, Aristander, and find out.
Next mission, we arrive at the city and talk with some soldiers and ask for them to join Alexander, but they refuse and mock him. You can try and attack the front gate, but you might take heavy casualties. So I build as much as I can and I send them forth. Use ladders to get up on the walls. Use archers to take out the siege weapons on the walls. Use the ram to break down the gate, and then use the wine jug right inside to take control of Alexander and start swinging. Take out the treasury and then move to the west and take a ship. Sail around to the other side, land your ship, and trigger a cutscene to meet this hulking guy. It's supposed to be Achilles, or rather his character model, but instead he's just the champion of Pitna. At first he charges at me, but I guess I went too far, so he started running back, but I just kept attacking him from behind. Take out the remaining treasuries to finish the mission. Overall, a fun siege mission. Aristotle says the fleet will be ready in 10 days, but Alexander hasn't the time to wait, so he will set sail with the army he has now and trust Aristanda to bring the rest of the fleet when it's ready. Next mission, Alexander and his fleet encounter the Persian navy while at sea. We are now stuck in third person. If you run out of stamina, you lose. So make all your shots count and try to avoid damage when you can. Most of the mission is on rails. You need to take out 100 Persians by the end of this scripted segment. First, we distract some Persian ships while they get rammed on the other side. Then a Persian trireme approaches and has a catapult on it. Do your best to take it out. Then we get hooked and need to take out the soldiers and board the ship to take it. Alexander then commands the rowing team of this ship to take out a Persian ship. Suddenly, I notice everyone waving their arms in fear when I turn to see a Persian ship ramming my ship. Well, just swim to the nearby island and grab the wine jug. You can explore the island for a little bit, but there's a lot of Persians, so head for this boat to end the mission. Overall, a fun on-rails mission. On board, Persians ambush Alexander, and he is taken prisoner.
This Greek fights like a demon from Hades. Tend to his wounds. I want him alive. This one will bring a high price in the sovereign's arena.
Next mission, Alexander is walking through the arena and looks over to a gladiator with a bull's head, and he doesn't look too happy, then proceeds to the arena. The announcer says if he survives, he will be allowed to leave. You are completely surrounded. I first thought about trying to take out the archers on the towers, but I seem to be taking too much damage. Some of them do have wine jugs on them, so it is worth climbing and grabbing them. The wine jugs on the ground will set people on fire if they get too close. As long as you keep moving, you should be able to avoid the arrows. It's best to stay away from the sides. There seems to be archers everywhere to try and keep you in the middle of the arena. There's 4 waves you have to hold off and fight. The first time I died on the 3rd wave with the elephants. Second time I tried to take out the archers, but I always seem to be getting hit from archers I can't see. The only good thing about climbing the towers is it funnels the melee units together so you can easily take them out in just a few swings. It is still best to stay in the middle and take out enemies. Between rounds, I tried taking out some of the archers on the towers. As for the elephants on the 3rd wave, just do your best to take out the archers first. Or just keep firing your unlimited arrows into the elephants. Eventually, I was able to kill them, but now I face the arena champion, the guy with the bull's head. He runs really fast with his bow attack, making it almost impossible to hit him. He's faster than you, so fighting him in melee is almost suicidal. I died the first time, so next attempt I tried again, and it just feels like there's nothing I can do. He can somehow block my arrows and take no damage. I tried waiting for him on a tower, but I just get overwhelmed. That's when I was fed up and I had to switch to easy difficulty. Now I have plenty of wine jugs to fight him, and he doesn't deal nearly as much damage. And then there was this part where he just blocks and runs around in a circle. Overall, this was, oh wait, a cutscene. Turns out, it's not over yet. The king says he never planned on letting Alexander go, so we have to hold out for one more wave. This makes me wonder how you're supposed to beat the champion and have enough stamina for this final wave. There must be an easy exploit of some kind. Defeat the unique looking elephant to win. Overall, a challenging mission that I'm very curious how you beat on harder difficulties. The elephant charges through and breaks through the gates. Alexander takes out the guards and escapes. Next mission, Alexander keeps running away and stumbles across a Greek encampment. They address him as prince, but he updates them that he is now king because these soldiers were stuck here and haven't heard from the king in a long time. They were assigned to retake a temple, but waited for reinforcements which never came. The Hercules bow resides inside, so Alexander tells him to ready the men to prepare and fight. We now can build a Spartan academy and train a pedagogu. Again, I'm sorry for butchering that name. You want these guys to train up your soldiers to level 20. This is when I learned how to speed up and slow down the game. It takes a long time to train them, but it's worth the time to make your troops deal more damage and reduce their damage taken. Once ready, it's time to move out and attack the first wall. It's honestly really easy after setting up some ladders. Then regroup and send your troops at the second set of walls. Take out the enemy, and this is when I noticed a strange thing about troops while they're on the walls. Your units disband, and I can't tell if they lose their experience bonus. When they return to the ground and form back up, only one squad returned to level 20, but I noticed the others are back to level 1. It turns out you need to search for soldiers with this mini flag. That soldier is hogging all the experience, so you need to make sure that these soldiers are part of a squad to return them to level 20. When you get over the second wall, you get a siege tower. Send that to the third and final wall. You just need to take out the Persians and the boss, whose name I'm not gonna try and pronounce. Overall, a simple but still fun siege type mission. Alexander arrives inside the temple, but the priests are dead and the bow was taken by King Memnon and Tiberius.
Both men know of its power. Let us find a fast ship and pursue that fleet at once.
Next mission, Alexander pursues after the fleets. Before getting started, I noticed in the top left corner, for some reason I would have enough honor to upgrade Alexander for just a few seconds. If you restart and place your mouse in the right spot right as you load in, you can hit the upgrade button to level up for free. This doesn't happen on every mission, but you can get away with it on a few. You can now select to ram the ships. I take out one, then hook the next one and take it. Land ashore to help out with the Persians attacking the Greek town. The mini-boss has the Hercules bow, but he has a ton of health. Take the bow and now you can start building up the town. Once you have a big force ready, finish constructing the wall and get ready for a massive Persian army. The Hercules bow sets enemies on fire in an area if you landed a hit, and it's a big area. Take out 200 Persians and they will retreat. Now you need to take your forces over to the city of Rhoeteum and retake it from the Persians. Then rebuild the walls and hold out again. Now you need to defeat 1,000 Persians and destroy their 3 barracks. I hold them off for as long as I can until they stop sending lots of troops. Then I finally gather up my army and march out to easily destroy the barracks. Finally, Aristotle arrives with the remaining army. However, his army decides to abandon him because they hear the Persians are building an invasion fleet to attack Greece.
The troops are all of one mind. We are going home. May the gods be with you.
Next mission, Alexander, Aristotle, and a small squad march through a desert. They get ambushed, and we cut to just Alexander and Aristotle still alive. They arrive at a camp and it turns out it's a Greek encampment of soldiers who lost an arm to Persians after Alex's father refused to pay for their return. Alex is able to rally them and in the morning set out to find Memnon and Tiberius. You don't have a base to start, so these crippled soldiers are all you got and they are actually pretty strong. Explore the map to take this outpost and find this ship. Head over to the other side of the lake and take out this other outpost. There is a jar to destroy, so you can then take over Alexander, take out the barracks to stop more units from spawning. Just to the north is another outpost and more handicapped soldiers to rescue. Then you have access to workers and a settlement. Now we can start gathering wood and gold to start building up an army. Move your army to the boat and take the encampment on the island in the middle of the lake. More people from the special Greek Olympics to recruit. Build a dock on the other water to build a galley. Then try taking some Persian ships to then land on the islands and take out the enemies. Eventually you'll get to the end and attack a fort. You'll need to build some catapults or use the catapult on a trireme to destroy the wall and create an opening to land your ships and invade the city. I thought I had taken the city but tried attacking Memnon, but he appeared to be stuck and invincible. Just send your army throughout the city and kill the enemies to trigger the cutscene. Overall, a fun mission with a lot involved. Tiberius is found and brought before Alexander. He says he is innocent and that it was their father that betrayed Greece to the Persians. Alexander says he will stand trial, but for now, they will continue on. The next day, Alexander finds the harbor with the Persian fleet. They must stop it before it launches. This mission is actually really easy. At first I thought with statues I could have infinite honor being generated, but that's when I learned there's a cap for each mission. By now you should have Alexander to level 5 so you can fully upgrade your troops to level 5 as well. I would also look into researching some of these counselors. I train my soldiers to level 20, head out north. I take out the catapults at the end, then head south and capture a trireme. I then land it to take out the last outpost on the map. I ran out of gold, so it was do or die. I hook up with this massive Persian ship and board it and fight the captain. He has a lot of health, but just keep on swinging and eventually he will die. And then take out all the enemies to win. Overall a straightforward mission, but it was still well made and fun. Alexander says Memnon freed Tiberius, so now they need to go after him. A cutscene shows Memnon telling Tiberius he is going to raise an army while Tiberius must stay here and slow Alexander's advance. They chase the Persians to a fort. Alexander is told there looks to be a weakness in the fort to get in. This is quite a big map and has some options for you to consider. You can attack the fort head on or take the sea route and go around to attack them from behind. First thing I did was control Alexander and take out the catapults on the walls. This caused the Persians to ride out and attack me. So I met them head on, then began sieging the walls. Once I had the first set of walls secured, I sent the trainers to train up my army to level 20, then built some defenses to hold the line. Eventually I attacked the second wall and got through. Continue pushing through and destroy the government building. Why not just give it a unique name? Tiberius gets impatient and called for Alex to face him and destroys a table. Ooh, what a badass. First send Alex over to destroy these 3 wall hookers. Otherwise they grab your ship and pull it towards them and destroy it. Pick up your army and sail past their defenses and land on the shore. Send in your army to defeat Tiberius. The first attempt was bull.
What is that? What is that?
Now you don't fail. I technically could have just sent my army in, but I reloaded to try again, and this time I had my army with me. Still, Tiberius runs around like he's Hermes. Eventually, I just kill him. Overall, this was a great mission, probably my favorite in the entire game. Tiberius confesses that he killed his father and handed the crown over to the Persians. He would rule Greece, but Persia would control it. Alex has heard enough, so he walks away while Parmenion finishes Tiberius off, Mortal Kombat style. Next mission, a messenger arrives at Memnon, reporting the city was taken and Tiberius is dead. The king knows Alexander is on his way and is ready for him. We then get a third mission where we control Alexander the entire mission. Wait for the laddermen to get into position and then climb the wall and take out as many troops as you can. Clear a path for the fire razor, which is this lion head thing. You need to protect it from damage. Basically an escort mission. There was this awkward moment. Just keep following the fire razor through the streets and kill any Persian trying to get near it. Eventually you get to the end and win. Not much else to mention, except I think this is a SpongeBob reference? Overall, a simple and straightforward mission. The final mission of the Alexander campaign is also pretty simple and straightforward. Just begin attacking the Persians to the first gate. You can use your boat to take control of this small sea area. Send the Hellraisers to destroy the first gate, then attack the enemy inside. I would recommend sending in Alexander to destroy the catapults on the boats and the walls first, then send in the Hellraisers to destroy the second gate. Charge into the city, then control Alexander to here and head inside to make your way to the final confrontation with King Memnon. There are some archers to fight, and then I didn't expect snakes. You can't melee them because reasons. So you use your bow. Once they're all dead, start fighting Memnon. He has some fire razors hiding inside the walls, but for the most part he's really easy to defeat. Plus there's plenty of wine jugs everywhere. Still, it was fun, but not something I expected to be for the last mission. Overall, a simple and easy mission. Aristotle arrives to congratulate Alexander on his success. He then asks, will they be returning home? No. He wishes to continue and expand the borders of Greece. He then walks out and celebrates with his army. On to the Cleopatra campaign. We start off with a cutscene at the pyramids. Workers continue constructing structures and statues when we hear Cleopatra talking with her brother Ptolemy. I have no idea how to say that, so I'm just going to call him Lemmy for short. Then her lover, the Roman Mark Antony, who's voiced by the same guy who did Aristotle. They must not have had enough money for more voice actors.
The Romans are launching attacks all across northern Egypt.
He arrives with news about Rome invading all over Egypt, led by General Octavian. Cleo sends for her ship and says they will defend this city. At first it's not very clear what we are supposed to do, but it turns out to be a defense mission. Simply hold out for as long as you can and don't let your hero die. Just understand you will keep getting pushed back. Don't worry, it's supposed to feel hopeless. Just follow the yellow marker on the map when it tells you to run. In the final area, you will need to hold off the Romans until your ship arrives, and then we get Cleo on board to win. Overall, it's a simple defense mission. As you sail away, Lemmy wonders, why were they not alerted sooner? Cleo believes Memphis must have fallen, so they will need to reclaim it. Mark believes the Romans will not make this easy. Lemmy then accuses Mark of perhaps being a spy, but Cleo makes it clear that they must not become divided. Next mission, we get introduced to General Octavian. He is disappointed that Cleopatra escaped. He talks with his nephew about his plans to take Alexandria. He entrusts his nephew Festus to find and kill Cleo.
Good. Then never again express concern to me that an army led by a woman is approaching.
Then we cut to Lemmy sending a message to his wife. But Mark appears to remind him that all messages need to be sent through military channels. Lemmy does not take kindly to this because Mark does not have that authority. Cleo arrives to tell them her next plan is to retake the Temple of Ra from the Romans to get their god's blessing. You just need to get through a couple of enemy defenses. The first set is a wall, but it's easy. Just send both rams to the first gate on the left and bring it down. Then rush your army inside and take out the enemy, but somehow Cleo got stuck on the wall. I had to get a ladder team over there just to get her down. Anyway, finish off the enemy, then move ahead to this area where the Romans have a good defensive position. The first attempt I just rushed my army in and was successful, but at a heavy cost. The next area I had even more archers to deal with, and they were once again on the high ground. I used Cleo to rush their position and took them out very quickly. Move up and it appears like these two bridges are what you need to get to the city, but they get destroyed as you get close. We just need to keep on moving and find another way. I use Cleo to clear the enemy on the ground, and eventually my army catches up and I send the ram to destroy the gate. Head inside and take out the town center to win. Overall, a straightforward siege type mission. Next mission is Bugged. I'm serious, I beat it 3 times and all 3 ended with me losing despite the mission objective telling me victory is yours. So, I recommend play through it and save it before doing the last objective, which is taking out this catapult on a ship. After you destroy it, immediately type in win. Yes, that's the cheat code to automatically win a mission. Anyway, Cleo is praying when she's approached by a warrior priest named Tor. He basically says he will go with her to help retake Egypt from the Romans, until a guard comes in and says the Romans are approaching to destroy the temple. This mission is a horde defense type mission. Romans will land on the beach and attack the temple. You are stuck as Cleo the entire mission, so watch your stamina bar. Search around for wine jugs, but try to stay away from taking unnecessary damage. Just keep an eye out for catapults in the distance. For the most part, Tor and the rest of the guards will deal with most of the army. You can take out the enemy officer from a distance. I'm not really sure what happens besides this little light show. Anyway, defeat the waves until the ship comes and destroy it, then type in win to beat the mission. Overall, a simple, straightforward defense mission. Tor sends a messenger somewhere, and then we cut to General Octavian who says,
Good news, sir?
It will soon be time to reap the seeds we have sown.
Next mission, Lemmy receives a message from his wife and must go to her. Mark brings up his thoughts again about Lemmy being a spy. Tor asks Cleo if they are ready to move on. She is going to attack the Romans' grain reserves. As a side note, I was able to level her up with the exploit. Board the ship, then sail over to the first island and take this ship if you want. Then land on shore and take the outpost. You now have access to workers. Hop back on the ship and head to the next set of granaries. There's a lot more enemies here to fight. I run around as Cleo, taking out as many troops as I can while my army spawns from the ships and takes the outpost. Then sail to the third area and land on shore to take out the Roman armies and take each outpost. Then the game surprises me with another objective where I have to defend this granary on the island for 5 minutes. I was able to get some soldiers out while my main force hurries back to the boat. I'm able to land on shore and defend the outpost. Overall, a fun mission to play. Mark feels the Romans knew they were coming. Cleo feels the same. When Tor pitches in claiming he has reports of Lemmy being seen with the Romans. Then Lemmy arrives getting off a boat with bloody weapons in his hands. When he is asked why he is carrying a Roman sword, he says he pulled it from his wife's body and used it to defend himself from Romans that were sent to kill him. Unfortunately, Mark doesn't believe his story and Cleo has her brother arrested. Mark then declares Lemmy to be executed, but Cleo says that will not happen until he is properly put through a tribunal. Next mission, Mark reports Lemmy has escaped, and the guards assigned to him were killed. She has already dispatched troops to find Lemmy. Now they head to the next city where they promise to provide weapons for them. We control Cleo again for the entire mission. It's an on-rails mission. Take out as many troops as you can because you need to keep your soldiers alive. There's going to be catapults on land shooting at you. You'll get boarded at one point. Then the game crashed, so I had to restart. From there, take out more archers on both sides, ram a boat, then, of course, no matter what you do, you'll get rammed. Don't worry, swim to shore and regroup with some forces. Lead them across the beach and fight a Roman admiral? I mean, he's using the same model as Julius Caesar. He runs through my troops and cuts them down like butter. I recommend just trying to take him out from range. Once dead, take the Roman ship and sail to the city to win. That's when Cleo discovers the new weapons. Next mission, we see another city getting razed by General Octavian, and continues making his way to the capital city of Alexandria. We now get to command elephants. They are very powerful against melee troops, and knock over trees to clear a path. Take the outpost to get workers, and start building up a base. Then gather an army and march forward to take out the 2 outposts. Then head for the city gates of Memphis and begin attacking. You can try and destroy the front gate, or take some elephants around to the side and knock over these trees to get inside the city easier. Inside is a boss named Agrippa. No, not the one from Amnesia. This guy tries to come after me, but my army takes care of him for me. We try to push forward and take the city, but Agrippa actually respawned in time, so I had to kill him again. I pushed forward to destroy the buildings to win. Overall, it's a fun, simple mission. Guards bring Lemmy to Cleo and Mark, saying they found him trying to sneak into camp. He says the guards were killed by Tor and a couple of Romans. Tor arrives at that moment, so Cleo orders him arrested, but Tor takes them out. Then Mark charges forward and misses. Tor hits him with a massive sweep attack, then walks up and MK style finishes him off. The guards chase after Tor, but Cleo says to leave him to her. We need to kill Tor, but also 75 Romans and Egyptian traitors. We are once again controlling Cleo. Follow the path and take out as many enemies as you can. Luckily, there's markers floating in the air to guide you. Grab every wine jug you come across. Follow the linear path. You'll get trapped in between some gates, but take out the enemies, then climb up here through the bushes. Then fight Titus. Don't worry, he's easy to kill. Then we board a chariot which has its own health, so take out the catapults and archers you come across. This feels like an on-rail shooter now, though I thought this chariot moment was pretty funny. Oh my, it's juking! The chariot is juking left and right. Oh my god, that was funny. Later we cross under a bridge, take out 2 chariots, then follow Tor. Just keep pumping arrows into him until he dies. As you can see, I was really close to dying. Overall, a fun, challenging mission. Cleo asks Tor why he betrayed them. He says Octavian was the winning side, so she replies with this.
Not if he continues sending priests. To do a soldier's job!
Fatality.
Next mission, Octavian receives news that Cleo survived. Despite Mark dying, Octavian gives his nephew one last try to prove himself and defeat Cleo. Meanwhile, Cleo is angry and readies her troops to construct a base and retake Cairo. I push forward while my base is being built. but as I engage the enemy, catapults are raining down on my troops. I had to pull them back and use Cleo to flank the catapults and take them out. Now we can push forward to take the enemy base. Watch out for these structures. It's like quicksand, it'll get them stuck and they can't escape. Kill the first commander, then finish off the remaining army on the island, then build a dock, take over a bigger Roman ship, then sail across with your army to land on the next island. Push forward and kill the commander Spurius, who was stuck on the wall and in normal looking clothes. Overall, a great mission with lots of enemies to fight. Cleo gives a speech to her army thanking them for a great victory, but Octavian is still heading north to Alexandria. Next mission is actually the demo for the game. I actually remember playing this so many times because I was looking forward to this game back in 2005, 2006, whenever the demo came out. Move up and draw the Roman army in. I realize now why it is a good idea to upgrade all your troops, because you might end up with spearmen who I haven't upgraded at all. You can clear the island like I did, but you'll need to find wine jugs to control Cleo and use her to swim across the water and take this ship on the far end of the map. As you come back, a cutscene shows a Roman cavalry unit approaching. Quickly get your troops and workers on board and then leave. You can just sit here and take them out with your archers, but man, they have a lot of health. Eventually I kill them all for the free honor, then head over and take out the outposts if you want. I use Cleo to take out the catapults on the walls, then build a ram to take the gate. However, they had some Roman catapults just inside to take out the ram, so I had to build 2 more just to destroy the gate. Rush into the city and kill all Roman soldiers. Overall, a fun mission. We then see Octavian kills his nephew with a spear, then telling his troops this is what happens to failures, then rallies them to march onto Alexandria. The final mission is Cleo telling everyone that they are too late. Alexandria has been taken and is now burning, but they can still defeat the Romans and kill General Octavian. We start off with a trireme and 2 biremes. There's no direct way into the city by sea. We need to take out these ships, or capture them, then land on shore to the northeast, take the outpost, and start constructing a base. While my workers do that, I use Cleo to take out the archers on the walls, then quickly get a massive army of swordsmen and archers. Send a siege ram at the gate, then charge into the city. Octavian is on a massive ship in the middle of the city. You basically just need to circle around the city, take out the many armies still pillaging the city. Also collect as many wine jugs as you can. Eventually you'll get here and take over Cleo. You hop onto the ship and it will automatically hook up with the bigger ship. Take out the catapults, then board the ship and take out the army of Romans charging at you. Then Octavian will appear and we have an awkward duel. Ladders are probably the most confusing thing for the AI. Octavian would come after me, but go down the wrong ladder. Then he would eventually find the right one, while I keep shooting arrows into him. Then he runs away, but then I just finish him off as he climbs up. Overall, not the most climactic final battle, but this game hasn't been the most polished, so still it was a decently fun mission. The final cutscene shows the 2 of them fighting. Although Octavian lands a mortal wound on Cleo, she's still able to wound him. Octavian says he can't believe he lost to a woman. Cleo says this is why he lost. He was only fighting for himself. He charges at her but misses. She stabs him and then he falls into the water. But Cleo collapses. Lemmy shows up and says he will summon a surgeon, but she says it's too late. She just wants him to stay and not be alone as she passes away. Lemmy promises to make sure the world will never forget Cleopatra. In conclusion, Rise and Fall, Civilizations at War is still a decently fun game. You can tell Stainless Steel had a unique idea here, and if they had more time to refine it, I really think this could have been a great game. But this feels like a game still at the end of an alpha version and is almost ready for beta. I bet they were even planning to have more heroes to choose from, but instead, the Midway team just had to put together what was left of the game. That's why they used Tor's model in the tutorial as a boss, but not in the skirmish. For Rome, they have Octavian, and they could have even used Mark, but I guess they just kept the factions to just 2 heroes. As for the skirmish maps, they are pretty fun, but like I said, 1v1 is really fun, especially if you crank up the difficulty to 10. The enemy will send massive armies at you. I think if I had to choose, Rome would be my favorite faction. So as it stands, I recommend playing this game if you're at all curious to try. Next month is the highly requested sequel video, Guild Wars Factions. See you next month. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe to help grow my channel. and comment below to let me know your thoughts. And click the link to the Time Pals podcast. We hope to start streaming soon. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.